All right, Eric Hall of the band Red, Wine, and Blue. Good to see you, man. One of my favorite guitar men out on the circuit. We would refer to you as a circuit guy, just working, 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 working. And you guys are just one of the models, like a hard Midwest touring band that, just went out and fucking did it, played a lot, got really good live, didn't, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't have any sort of magical major label signing or something that like put you on the rocket ship. It was just hard work and doing the miles and getting good at the craft. So I think that's like an inspiring model for all kinds of bands out there.
That's right. And there was a good bit of work, quite a bit of work done before I even got in the band. I joined the band in like late 2007, and they had been at it for, 10 years before that, just about when,
Damn.
Scott and those guys were in college, but basically from like the year 2000, they had been, post college, playing a bunch and, selling CDs one by
Oh
one.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Um,
And that must have been nice to get into a band with a lot of rolling momentum, huh? Maybe you got to bypass a little bit of the toilet bowl circuit, so to speak.
oh, I swirled in the top of the toilet bowl for a good while early in my life. But yeah, it was great. I mean, I had numerous bands that, had always seemed to have promise, but then, it's hard to keep a group of guys together, especially in like late teens, early 20s when everyone's, making decisions
Yeah,
on
of course.
which direction they want to go in their life. So, I was always the guy who was ready to ride or die. So
You're a lifer.
yeah, here I am still.
I mean, there's fewer and fewer lifers, especially in the Midwest. You're in a garage in Columbus, Ohio. I'm in
Mhm.
Milwaukee. Yeah, it's good to meet guys like you who are out there slogging it and still pumped about it.
Yeah,
Um, yeah. So what
yeah.
happened after you get in the band? Are you able to like quit all your day jobs and just tour full on?
Yeah, there for a while. Was living, very slim, in the through the 20s and the early 30s, like didn't feel I needed much, didn't need much at all, liked, not being at home very often. So traveling as much as possible with the band and it's like the only, if we were out on the road, we were making money. If we weren't on the road, we weren't making money. So um that was good up until a point, and then basically COVID happened. That rearranged a lot of priorities and also financial situations when you can't go play anywhere. That's
Hmm.
have to sort of retool. So now I'm I work and I do the band all at the same time, and it's great. I've been busier than I've ever been in my life, but somehow more productive. When you don't have any time to
Yeah.
start being lazy, it's easy.
It's
It's not possible to be lazy. You got to like find the time to get the stuff done, and sort of
yeah.
the inertia, the momentum just keeps it going, even though sometimes I feel like,
And it
it's like,
is wild, like, cause like touring always feels so productive. And a lot
mhm.
of times it is, not so much creatively, but it's like you're getting an offer to go play, let's just say hypothetically, we're getting an offer to go play in Duluth, Minnesota. It's $1,200. That sounds a lot on paper, and you're like, all right, let's make a little money, but you got to pay the 6 or 700 to get the 12.
Yep.
With all the costs and everything. So it's like when you do have time to reflect and like come home, it's like, man, I am more efficient not going to Duluth, Minnesota, even though that gig might have been really cool. I
That's
get,
right.
it's just like the value. What's the value of your time? And I think musicians are probably afraid to do the relative math of crunch out their hourly wage because it
Yeah,
probably would be
it's
kind of scary to look at.
yeah, that's not always, yeah, that's not the smartest thing to do if you want to stay motivated to do the long days, the long drives, the lack of sleep, all of that kind of stuff. But, again, when you're looking at that a single date, but then when you start bunching them together, then you average out the win
Yeah.
to loss over a group of shows, which is what we have to do.
Hmm.
And we're doing that all the time and getting better at at not doing things that don't make sense, because we've done the you know, the Duluth, Minnesotas and places even
Sure.
further north, like the, going into South Dakota and stuff, and you go and you play for next to nobody and you go,
It's weird up there.
yeah, maybe we'll play up here if there's ever a reason to for us to play up here, you
How
know.
have you found like the inflation? I feel like everything just costs so much more since like
Yeah.
2 years ago. And in general, ticket prices are relatively the same. Musician wages are generally the same. How have you guys kind of battled that to keep the van on the road?
Um, I mean, it's just again trying to be smarter about budgeting for the shows that you take and the shows that you don't take, making sure that we have a good amount of merch on hand, keeping that stuff fresh, to sort of supplement, the gaps in the in the income
Yeah.
based on per show on tours and things like that. Um, and you're sort of, we're are you hearing a weird sound coming out of my
Yeah,
end?
it sounds like someone's like squeaking on a
I
toilet
did.
seat or something.
Sorry. I don't know why it's
What
doing
is
that.
that? It's not horrible, but it's definitely weird.
Yeah, I don't
It sounds
know.
like, yeah, some like an alien
It's
frequency, but
gone.
it's not too bad.
Is
I
it
think
still?
we're okay.
I think I. No. Yeah, it's.
So what's your role in the band outside of playing lead guitar? What are your administrative duties?
I haven't had a lot of administrative duties. Greg has taken care of like 99% a lot of that stuff over the years. He's very good, very organized. So he's done a lot of that. He's our acting tour manager. Um, but so really it's been a lot of, fortunately creative side stuff, um, writing, demoing, and then this our newest record is self-produced, and I did a lot of the spearhead on the producing of that. So
That's the dream.
it is, yeah, it is. But again, there's um, we're trying to diversify and delegate some tasks to sort of evenly distribute them over the shoulders of everyone in the band, coming up. So I might have some more some more
Yeah,
tasks
I've noticed you
to
guys are
take
such
care of.
a well-oiled machine. Like when we did that tour with you, you bring quite a bit of production, like some lights, a cool backdrop, and
Mhm.
you know, an hour and a half after the show, you'd see all you guys out there schlepping gear, taking it down,
That's right.
unhanging stuff, and it's everyone's got their little side mission. So that's really cool to see. It's
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
have to
we
be so
are.
efficient out there.
Yeah, we are a self-contained crew. I mean, we travel with oh my gosh. Is that getting unbearable, that sound?
It's not, no, it's
Okay,
okay.
good. All right. So it's
Yeah.
worse on my end than your end. Okay, so I won't worry about it. Um, we just travel with Sean, our sound guy. And then, we load in, we load out, we set up, we tear down. So, it's yeah, we are the band and the crew plus
T
one. So
Tell me about maybe some of the weirdest shows in recent memories, weirdest Red Wanting Blue shows, biggest soul crushers,
biggest soul crushers.
weirdest tours.
Um, I'd say the last time that we went out west, which was I guess a year or so ago. I think it was like our first big cross country trek after like
Yeah.
COVID life. Um, and it's like we plot across the Midwest. We do well. In Iowa and Nebraska, and we've been doing well in Colorado over the last recent times. So you're going out there and you're like, oh, this is great. See a lot of people, play good shows, and then once we get to the West Coast, things start getting a little bit weird.
Hmm.
And there's been times where places have been better for us than others. So biggest soul crusher as of that first comes to mind was when we played San Francisco. So
That's a
you know,
weird one.
yeah. So just being in the city, um, again for the first time in a couple of years, did notice a difference on the street life there
Yeah.
was quite different, in not a great way.
Mm-hmm.
The first when we pulled up, moments after we pulled up, opened the door onto the sidewalk, a man came up and offered to sell us a very nice bicycle for $20.
Yep.
You're like, that's not a $20 bicycle. I wonder where you just got that.
That story
So that,
checks out.
yeah, that story does check out. Um, and then we saw, I think in total with the group, um, we were there for, maybe 8 to 10 hours in the city and spotted 3 penises out in the
Nice.
open. Yeah.
Those aren't rookie numbers.
No. And then the show itself was not well attended. So, just the whole thing, getting into that city, parking, just dealing with the entire day. And then it's
The smash and
a
grabs, world famous smash and grab
yeah,
city.
a scant showing, it just leaves you at the end of the day just going, man, that was not fun. Feel
Yeah, especially with that big ass tour bus you guys drive. You guys have like the coolest, funniest tour bus in the game. I don't remember what it's called, but it's like some throwback. It's like from the 60s or something, and it looks classic. It's not like a big fancy,
it's
modern touring rig.
it's a 1999
Okay, all right.
American Heritage motor coach. Thank you very
Which is
much.
now almost 30 years old, 99.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
doesn't seem that long ago.
Yeah, so on the inside it looks like 1999 in like a luxury condo in like Boca Raton, Florida.
Mm-hmm.
White
Is it?
carpet, white leather,
Ooh,
mirrors on the wall, black trim, gold trim.
how do you keep the white carpet not looking like hell?
It's not white anymore.
Yeah. Oh my
It's
God.
now
Rip that
gray.
shit up.
It's now a gray carpet with runners over it,
Yeah.
with a lot of brown spots from coffee spills.
Mm-hmm. Who's the funniest guy in the band?
Everybody has their moments. Um, it's hard to say. Yeah, and I don't know. I can't pick one. Everybody makes me laugh.
What's your pre-show ritual?
Pre-show ritual is it used to be smoking cigarettes, but now I don't do that anymore. So now it's usually like trying to find a decent place to have dinner.
Well,
Having
you need to start smoking again, Eric. That is unacceptable.
Yeah, well, I had a good run. I had a good, 10+ year run of smoking, so I think that's enough.
You got your money's worth.
I did. Yeah. Yeah.
Where are you going? Where are you going now on this tour? Tell me about it. I think you're putting out an album, if I'm not mistaken. And are you blanketing the U.S. or just sticking to the eastern side? What's the plan?
We're working that out. We'll probably blanket the US generally over the next 12 months. New record coming out in June 7th, if I'm not mistaken. We've already got some singles out. Very excited about it. Very happy about the record. I guess I hope a lot of people always say that it's their best work to date, but we really genuinely think that.
Hmm.
So very, very excited with how it turned out, especially given it's self-produced. So super excited about all the songs. Just this last weekend we did 3 shows in Ohio and played 2 songs that have been out as singles since the last time that we've played a show. So we did those for the first time and they went really well. Very fun to play. People seem to know them, so that was good. It was great.
How do you get the word out outside of touring and playing live? Like, what's moved the needle for you guys from like a marketing side?
That's we're trying things. Fortunately for us, we've got a pretty solid fan base, mailing list, and our moderate social media following. So basically, our internal fan base and mailing list is pretty sizable. Outside of that, we've got a little bit of spotty radio support, Northeast Ohio, the Summit is a huge supporter of us. They
Oh
play
yeah.
anything that we put out, so that's helpful. I mean, they're Northeast Ohio, and then I think they have a station now in Athens, so getting down to the Southeast.
Nice.
And then it's like it's the marketing folks at the label and stuff. It's all social media geared, which I guess could work for you. I don't know.
Hmm.
It seems to be, that's just always feels just like a drop in the bucket, or just you're just adding more salt to the ocean. You know what I mean? With like,
Right. I do have
um,
kind of a hunch that maybe in 5 years, social media might not be the way to promote records. Like it's like, all these videos now. I was just doom scrolling today and like witnessed some pretty cool stuff on there. And three or four of those videos I thought were real were not even real. So
in
once
in what sense?
they were like AI made or,
Yeah,
made through a robot.
right.
But I mean, if it comes to a point where like Instagram, whatever, insert said social media brand, if it comes to a point where half of the videos on there or more than half aren't real, like people might just jump ship. And obviously not everyone, it'll still have carry a huge weight, but like there's probably going to be some sort of mass exodus.
Yeah, I would assume, and that is a weird thing. I don't know, just I guess our minds are have always been geared towards you know, consuming things like that people make, and there's something about knowing that a person made that makes it that much more exceptional if it's good, right? Because you're like,
Yeah,
wow,
yeah.
somebody's mind made this. How did, when you see something really creative or something that sort of blows your mind, like for me, I always think like, how did someone come up with this? That's incredible.
Do you have any
Uh,
theories about the future as like how people are going to consume music post streaming?
yeah, I don't know. I don't really think about it a whole lot. I don't have any grand theories on what the next thing would be. Um, my guess would be just based on historical, like cyclical fads and stuff, is that the kids, the younger kids are going to start, you know, being interested in like old uh, media like CDs or something. Like I don't maybe there's
Yeah.
going to be like a big surge in like, CDs again, like vinyl or something. Like for currently everyone's reissuing everything on vinyl. There's now every physical uh, you know, copy of music in the store is a vinyl record, which is pretty rad, but I don't know, maybe that's going to shift to something else. I don't know. The streaming is, again, it's hard to guess because it's just so damn convenient.
Hmm.
It's just too easy, you know. Even for
Yeah.
myself, it's like it's just too easy to use your phone and be able to listen to anything that you want to listen to at any time.
And it's mind blowing how much like great stuff is out there. Like if you dedicate a little time, like I was just digging before I talked to you and just like how many great indie bands I've just never heard of
Yeah.
that are popping up and some of them barely even have any following. So it's just like I don't know what to really make out of it, but it's always bizarre and it's a tale as old as time. It's like the stuff that you think is kind of crummy or weak or watered down oftentimes is like kind of popular. So it's not worth trying to figure it out.
Yeah, again, yeah, I can, I trust my taste for myself, but I never feel like I am a weather vane for, anything that would be liked by a lot of people or disliked, so I have no idea. And, the anecdotal thing too is just like within our own band, and I'm sure you find this out for yourself too. It's like you've got new songs and you're like, oh, we're really excited about this song. I think our fans are really going to get into this. And you start playing it, and it's just like,
Mm.
you're like, once again, totally wrong on, like 4 out of 5 times with that stuff. Thinking like,
It's true, man.
this is the
Yeah.
fans are gonna like this one. I think people are gonna like this, and it's like you try it and you try it and you're just like, yeah, no, I guess nobody cares about this one. So moving on to the things that they do like.
Yeah, the whole trial and error of it is fun. I think we'll start to eliminate more and more of that and probably calculate what we make a bit more because it'll just be easier to kind of predict what people respond to. Maybe not, but I don't know. I'm having faith in human beings, and I was talking to a buddy yesterday. He's just like, yeah, it's I'm stoked for AI. It's gonna be great. It's gonna up the value of humanity, and that's what I'm gonna go with, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
What are your thoughts? Do you have a theory on post streaming, or what do
Well,
you got?
I don't know if you want to hear this. It's not going to bring you joy.
It's all right.
One of my
I'm used to
theories
being brought down. It's fine.
outside of my, blind optimism that I'm subscribing to now is one of my theories is, and I'm sure I'm not the first person to say this out loud, but I believe Elon you're gonna have the option to like put some sort of chip, might be the size of a grain of sand, into your wrist or your forehead, and you'll be able to download skills. So if you want to be awesome at Spanish,
Mhm.
you're fluent in Spanish, but it costs you like $10 a month. Or you want to be awesome at world history, cool, $4 a month, and or whatever the price is, and you won't have to like try for a lot of things. Maybe you'll even be able to download exercise so you don't have to go to the gym. I mean, I'm getting wacky with it, but all these things I think are not outside of the realms of possibilities. Um, so that's one theory.
Yeah, that sounds plausible.
Yeah, I don't see why not.
That sort of, yeah, it's like the first Matrix where they're in the training dojo and he's like downloading all of
Yeah,
the different martial arts into his brain.
there it is. Yeah,
That
maybe
would
I
be
just
great.
took this from Keanu Reeves. I probably did.
No, I mean it's no, I mean it's out there. I get it.
Yeah, I had a thought the other day. I was watching NBA basketball and I'm like, are these guys gonna be able to like under the radar, like implement AI where they like barely ever miss a shot, and the only time they would ever miss a shot is to like throw off the AI police that they're not cheating? Like, who's to say? Who's to say, you
Who's to
know?
say? Yeah.
I don't know. It's fun. It's fun to talk about.
Then
And
they'd have to somehow make it more challenging, like put like
yeah.
obstacles on the floor, have the hoop be like a moving target.
Yeah, and there's like moats with alligators in them,
Yeah, that's what
like
it is. Yeah, it's
surrounding the paint. So it's really go hard in the paint would take on a totally different meaning. That could be big.
yep.
I
Yeah.
could see it happening. I mean,
Like
all this stuff, all this tech is so crazy and so powerful. You have to chalk it up as laughable. It's like, okay, here we
mhm.
go.
Yeah.
There's really not much of a reason for like dwelling too hard, and I do, but it's just so laughably powerful that what can you do? It'd be like, well, let's just
Not
have a good time while
nothing. I
while we're
think
still
yeah.
no, microchipless.
Yeah. The momentum is the inertia is going forward. I don't there's no stopping it.
How are you prepping for the future? Like you're a working musician. I imagine that makes up most of your income. Like, how do you prep for the future? Because I feel like once you get into your like mid 30s, like life gets real and you're like, whoa, can I really be touring in a van when I'm like 60 years old? How do you prep in your brain?
In my brain, I've started to save money for, what retirement. I don't really think there'll ever be a retirement. I don't know. That seems unlikely now for guys our age, unless you're making a certain amount of money. But you know, investing in the future, Brett, you know, uh
You're hired
Roth
as my consultant.
Roth IRAs, ETFs, just starting to shuffle money in directions where it's like, okay, this hopefully will grow and I can access it later. I get it's a very traditional way to save for the future. Got a late start on it, given,
Hmm.
did not think about that stuff, nor had the extra the amount of income to like allocate to savings for the first, like 15 years of adulthood.
Did you
Um,
grow up with like anyone helping you with financial literacy, stuff like that?
um, I mean, yes and no. Like, my parents have always been sort of like middle of the road, like good with, finances and things like that. But yeah, I never really took an interest in it. again,
Mhm.
because when you don't really have much money to do anything with, what's the interest? Like just
Yeah, totally.
you're like, oh, let me learn about hypothetically investing money that I don't have.
If I put $5 into scratch offs for the next 100 years, I might be getting somewhere.
That's one way. That's one way to go through it. But yeah, I'm just still sort of short term figuring out life.
Yeah, man, I feel yeah. I remember just being in my teens, just fascinated with scratch offs. That's all I wanted to do when I turned
Really?
18 or whatever. It was like buy scratch offs because I
Be,
worked at a
be,
gas station.
oh yeah, yeah. You worked the counter and you were selling. I'm sure you sold scratch offs
Oh
every day, all
yeah,
day. Yeah.
cigarette scratch offs.
Did you
It
have the
was a
did you have the people that would just scratch it off right there on your counter?
course, yeah, of course. I mean, yeah, it was kind of dark. Once I kind
Yeah.
of saw the scene, it was yeah,
Hmm.
it got a little dark, but found out, learned a lot, learned Marb Lights were the best-selling cigarettes in Milwaukee. A lot of great information for my future. But
What
yeah,
uh
you
what gas
gotta.
what gas station did you work at?
Yeah, I think it was a Sitco. It's
Hmm.
now a Quick Trip, which if you know the Midwest, Quick Trip is like the
Hmm.
best. It's just they
Yeah.
got it dialed in. It's clean toilets, nice coffee. Gas station
Yep.
coffee has become so evolved. So we love a Quick Trip. Call
Do
in if
they
you want to sponsor.
do they have the machines now that do like the fresh ground like Americano?
They got that. They got a
Yeah, that's
cold brew
great.
tap now, and
Oh man.
that is the secret. I'll tell you, the great coffee hack of Midwest touring is you get a
Hmm.
regular coffee cup, throw a
Hmm.
little ice in there,
Yeah.
or no ice, maybe a little half, and they got fresh half and half, and then you fill it up with the nitro cold brew, so you get really fancy coffee for like $1.40.
Can't beat it. That's great. Good
And
hack.
that's thievery, but I'm gonna say that's okay because big coffee has a stranglehold on us, Eric.
Yeah, I won't tell.
Please don't. But yeah, it's an honor to get back out there and be on the circuit. We just got back out after a winter of hibernation. It was good to be on the road again and
Where'd you go?
lifting coffee. We went up to Minneapolis and Eau Claire, Wisconsin, which is my
Hmm.
my place of birth. Just cute little town. There's
Yeah.
the Chippewa River runs through it. It's just classic. Just still got that old Americana vibe in the downtown and a couple great record shops, great coffee, just like hip people mixed with like, crusty classic Eau Claire blue collar folks, hanging
Uh-huh.
out together. It's yeah, it's quite a marvel. I do recommend.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think we've ever been there or I've ever been there.
Yeah, that's a drive by generally if you're
Yeah.
like from far away, but it's a short trip for us. But I went to school there. I played basketball there in college.
Really?
So it's always and my parents met there. They met at a house party in Eau Claire, so it's always like a family reunion. I had a bunch of uncles and aunts there at the show, and it was cool. They're good
Fantastic.
beer drinking champions.
Fantastic. Yeah, it sounds like a
What's your uh
solid
what's your
classic
day
Midwestern town.
job day job during in between tours? What do you do to kind of hustle?
So my dad and my mom, they've been in business for themselves for a long time. Well, when I first went to college, they both got laid off from their jobs, so they went into business for themselves. Um, and my dad's been in like well, he started out, it was like telephone and cable television, like telephone lines and coax cable. In that world, selling the products that go into like installing those lines, both short and long lines. And then that all morphed into, fiber optic cables now. So um, they're in that business. And I've been in and out of that realm since I was in, like left
Sure.
college and stuff. So then I got back involved during COVID, of course, when I had no job.
Yes. The
Um, so now
COVIDius.
so now I'm doing double duty and I'm able to, work while traveling and all of that stuff. So it's I've got a very good very fortunate scenario of having,
Beautiful. And
being
what do
able
the
to.
other guys do in between tours?
Dean, he has his own record store in Youngstown.
Yes, at the bowling alley. That place
Hmm.
rules.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah.
West
You're
Side Bowl, man,
West
that's one
Soil
of the
Bowl.
best
Yeah,
venues in the
I
country. That
know.
place is unbelievable.
We just played there last weekend, and saw your like one of your posters is up there from when you played there at some
Whoa.
point.
I love that
Yeah.
they don't take down the old posters.
Well, they like, the whole place
Archive,
is,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. It's the walls are archived of the stuff, so it's, yeah. So he's got the West Side Bowl Shop, um, and then he and his girlfriend, they do a lot of buying and reselling of mid-century modern furniture.
That's
Looks
fun.
like you got a little in the background there.
Yeah, yeah. One of my buddies actually in Youngstown, Moltar. You probably know Moltar, Jeff.
I know of
Yeah, yeah,
him.
yeah.
Dean knows
He's
Moltar.
he's a full-time scrapper, so he like
Yeah.
goes to his whole job is hustling, goes to weird, what is it called when someone dies and then they sell all their shit like estate
Estate
sales,
sales. Yep. Yep.
weird like rummage sales, and he just hustles and he has like an eye for all these bizarre like artifacts and what he can
Hmm.
resell for double or triple. So it's
Yep.
quite the job. He should yeah, there should be a doc on these guys. There probably is, but
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The very, very interesting people. Some characters in that realm for sure. It's funny that you know that guy. I mean, I've never met him, but I remember
yeah.
when they first started going to a bunch of the estate sales, they were always like, "Fucking Moltar." It's
Yeah, yeah. He
always
gets there
bidding us up.
first.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
yeah.
gets there first, gets the good stuff, bids them out. He's a pro. He's a real pro.
I love people with that hustle who are down to work a weird job, even if, you know,
Hmm.
margins are thin. It's like a sense of adventure, you know. It's like it's I think it's easy to lose that sense of adventure as you age, just because it's easier to be home and it's harder to kind of get motivated and scarier and weirder to get out and do kind of out of the box stuff. But seeing folks like that still doing it really sparks me in a weird way, you know?
Yeah, yeah, it does, and yeah, you're right about that. Like as I get older, you know, been a lot of places, seen a lot of things, so there's not a whole lot of rocks that have been left unturned, it feels like. I mean, there is, but you got to go out of your way to find those. And so, our well-beaten paths of the places that we
Mhm.
travel to all the time, it just more and more over time feels like laborious to do the travel. And now I'm like far more aware of my mortality and the dangers of being on the highway, and
Yep.
like the exponential risk of
Yep.
getting into an accident the more you're out there, and then we're in a vehicle that is just a giant death box. So, these things are in my mind more at the front now than they ever were, which sometimes, makes me think like, you know, maybe not. Maybe not go out, do that one.
Where do you want to go? Where do you want to play music? What country that you haven't yet?
Anywhere in Europe. We've yet to cross the pond with the band. I've been waiting to do that for like 15 years. You're like, probably
Oh,
in a year now we'll get to go do that. But we haven't got to do that yet. We've played Canada a good fair bit. Love playing Canada. We've done uh a couple private parties in Mexico years ago.
ooh.
So we've done sort of North America, across the northern border, across the southern border. Um, but yeah, would love to do, get into Western Europe.
I'm surprised you guys haven't been there.
Yeah, we haven't had the opportunity yet, or the right sort of scenario with getting packaged with a promoter, and
Sure.
it's have you done the European run stuff?
Yeah, yeah. I've done a ton of Europe, but I've also done a lot of it by myself. You know, real
Mm,
low budget, just like bare bones,
yeah.
no crew or one person. So, you know,
Yeah,
it's a lot easier.
that's where it's hard to make the numbers work for, five guys, and then figuring out the travel and the gear, and you just there's more overhead with the full band kind of
Renting
thing.
gear is such a ball ache. In Europe too, they charge you like the cost of an amp to like rent an amp for 3 weeks. It's like it's brutal. And I don't, the beautiful thing about America is you can just buy something at Guitar Center and return it within 45 days, and it's a it's a
Yeah.
free rental.
Yeah.
God
Yeah.
bless GC.
There's another little Brett Newski travel hack.
Yeah, you got any good travel hacks you recommend to the people?
Um, I mean, this is probably not an unknown one, but if you're looking for a good place to get your stomach settled in the morning, um, hotel lobby bathrooms.
And they got the free continental breakfast, right?
Yeah, if you're rolling in, before 10 or whatever, yeah, you can try to push the envelope there. I don't think anyone's going to stop you, but
That's advanced, yeah. I mean, I mean, in the beginning of time, I had a friend who's like real deep into tour hacks and like tour
uh-huh.
scams to like eat, and he would like call a Chipotle ahead of time and be like, they'd be going to like some outside of Cleveland. He's like, all right, we hit this Chipotle in 30 minutes, and he'd call me and be like, hey, I ordered this chicken burrito, and it was the wrong order. It had like mayo in it or something, and then he'll just basically like confuse the Chipotle person, and
They're
then
like mayo. Who?
can you remake it for me? I'm gonna be in like 15 minutes. And he would go up, and then it'd be like a burrito waiting for him. So if you're
Wow.
willing to really con, and you
Yeah.
got no shame, you can eat
Yeah,
burritos
that's
for free. But
that's
that's a big
uh
commitment.
that's depending on the individual, ethically questionable.
Yeah, I don't have it in me anymore. My hustle days are
Yeah, well,
behind
and
me.
yeah, and fortunately for us, given our vehicle, we have a refrigerator. So, you know, our good tour hack is have a refrigerator and you just go to the grocery store and then you're eating for much less all the way instead of,
Trader Joe's.
yep,
Is
Trader
that what's
Joe's.
your go-to grocery?
In Columbus, yep. Love the Trader Joe's, and then it's Giant Eagle and Kroger.
Nice. It's a beautiful thing, that Trader Joe's. Well, Eric, let's play
It
one of your
is.
singles to kind of close up shop. What song should we play?
Ooh, let's go with the one that's out currently, Run for Your Life.
Okay. Beautiful. Eric Hall, Red Wanting Blue on Dirt from the Road. Thanks for coming on, dude. It's great to see you, and hope to see you in real life soon. Hopefully we can team up out there for a few rock shows.
Yeah, would love to. Thanks for having me.
All right, my dude. Much love.